let's talk a little bit about the memo. As you can see here, the effective date, which also is applicable in the end of service because it has an effective date, you must make sure that it's perfectly accurate and correct before saving, because since like it's linked with many activities in the system and will definitely affect the salary sheet, it will definitely affect different months of the salary sheet. So you must make sure effective date for end of service is accurate, and for all other activities in general. And please make sure you read all pop-up messages on the screen, which pop up on the screen before saving, because they are crucial. And always check the employee's status in order to know, for example, why their names are not showing in the salary sheet. So for example, if an employee went through end of service and their status is inactive, the user might wonder why their names are not showing in the salary sheet, basically because they went through end of service and they are inactive. One more thing is that you always should follow up with the system rules, and it's basically customer responsibility if those rules, which has been discussed before, are broken. And whether, for example, you have many leaves, or the user finds that there are so many leaves regarding employees, all these leaves must be returned at the time the employee has returned back in order for the system to know when the employee has returned. Because there are different consequences, whether it's an early return, a late return, or return or on time. And as you can see here, it's possible to create multiple loans. Like this workflow and this process is pretty like possible and simple. However, you have to make sure that you proceed with the entire process for the loans. And in addition to that, notice here that if the customer uses a predefined template to create additions, deductions, and posting the salary sheet is automatic, then in this case approval is not required. Of course, this is logical, because if you choose anything to be automatic, then there will be no need to approve that. It will instantly be posted to the salary sheet. And also, calculating of annual leaves balance is pretty important. You should always keep in mind that how does the calculation of annual leaves works. Basically, the system will read the total due days from the joining date until the start date of the leave, and then this will be minus the total number of days which has been already taken before. And this occurs if the leave's opening balance is not used. So that is the correct way of calculating the annual leaves balance. And in case of opening balance, the system will not take the joining date, it will take the next day of the opening balance. So this is as well an important point which should be taken into consideration. And most activities, of course, needs to be approved. They need to be approved before creating the salary sheet. Like 90% or the majority of activities require to be approved before creating end of service, especially those which have like which require immediate approval. For example, if an activity requires approval, but after 2 or 3 months, it can be postponed. However, if it will be affecting the current salary sheet for this month, then it must be approved as soon as possible. And the user cannot create salary sheets for any month unless the previous month is created. So you cannot skip months in creating salary sheet. And it's possible also to approve the salary sheet depending on the different departments, positions, employees. So you cannot, for example, keep in mind that only the entire salary sheet for all employees will be created. No, you can split that depending on different positions, months, and employees. And always make sure that once you start the payroll start date, and once you set that start date of the payroll, the salary sheet will be created based on that date, and you cannot, for example, later change again since the salary sheet will already be created. And always remember that any activity which needs to be posted to accounting must be posted to accounting successfully, and that any activity or any type of payment which requires to be paid must be paid through the HRMS activities menu itself, not from the accounting menu, since this is an ERP system and everything is clear and straightforward. And it's like the payment cannot be split in the salary sheet regarding the same employee. So for different employees, yes, of course, different payment methods can be selected. But for the same employee, you cannot choose, for example, that different payment methods are used for the same employee. Now let's talk a little bit about the stop or release the salary of employees. Now regarding this activity, it's recommended to be used for those employees which have been absent for like a few days without giving any previous notice. But for example, if an employee is absent for weeks, months, more than that, then leave without pay is more recommended to be used rather than the stop or release the salary. And finally here we have that the absconded workers activity is used when there is official data that the employee has left the country entirely because they ran away basically. So that's why it's used. And the main difference between this activity and the stop or release salary activity is that the stop or release salary is when it's certain that the employee is in the country but not 100% sure in the absconded workers where they are. So in the absconded workers, we're not 100% sure the current location, like they ran away, they're out of country, we don't know their location. But in the stop or release salary, it's different, and we are certain that they are in the country, but their salary is just stopped, but they are still in the country. So that is how it works. Basically, that is the main content, that is the main explanation for today's video. I hope it was clear, easy, like precise, and all information is delivered accurately. Please make sure you watch our other videos which will contain other parts of the HRMS activities module, because in every video I cover an entirely different topic. So make sure you watch those parts in order to use the system easily. And please don't forget to share this video with everyone interested in an ERP system, more specifically in those modules. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Your call is very important to us.